Hello everyone, this is Jude from Duel Masters Redux, and I am here to present one of our deck profiles actually. A few of our members and a few people of the community that have contacted us on our group page and on our Discord channel, um, which you can both find in our description, under the description of this video, have been asking me what deck profile or what are the cards that I've been using for my Doguraeater deck. So this Doguraeater is red, blue, and black. So in MTG terms, that would be Grixis. That's why I put in the video description of the dual video I had with one of our members, which is KA. I actually put Grixis Eater there. Okay, so obviously the core of this deck would have to cycle around Doguraeater, this card. Alright, so besides Doguraeater, what other mechanics does the deck actually use? Okay, so in order to show you, besides this deck, we are actually using one of the forbidden cards, and that is Dokindam X. Okay, so what does Doguraeater have to do with Dokindam X? Okay, so the reason why we have him as our core is because of its ability. So starting right off the bat, Doguraeater actually grants you the the ability to put a D2 field from your graveyard onto your battle zone for no cost. The moment it arrives the battle zone, you can discard one of your cards, one of your creature cards to be exact, so you can put a D2 field from your graveyard into the battle zone. So for this deck, we will be packing obviously one copy of Dokindam X, the Forbidden. This will be part of the deck, so the deck in itself actually houses 39 cards instead of the 40. Okay, so the kingdom will start at the battle zone, as everybody knows, or for those who do not know, this card actually starts in the battle zone automatically at the start of the game, and you will have to put 6 seals. So when we say 6 seals, say this is the top of your deck, right? You will have to get 6 cards from the top of your deck and then put them on top of this creature, well, on the back side of the creature. Okay, there's actually no right or wrong way where you can let me just adjust that real quick. There's no right or wrong way that you can actually seal your creature. It's just that I was taught by my good friend Tom, also a founder of Duel Masters Redux, to seal my Dokindam like that. Okay, so more or less, all you have to do is stack 6 cards face down on top of this creature at the start of your duel. Okay, so as we start, I will be showing you the cards that you will need, the 39 cards that you will need in order to run this deck. Okay, so let's start with the cores first. So for this deck, obviously, besides the kingdom, you will need 4 copies of Doguraeater. As you can see, one of the cards is not a Doguraeater. Actually, I have one. I need one more to complete my set. But since I do not have the ability or the chance to purchase or get one of another Doguraeater here in the Philippines, I will have to settle with this proxy. Okay, so the reason why I chose this proxy is it is actually part of the Team Acme, like the Doguraeater. So I think it fits well. I don't know. It's really hard to get an 8 mana black red 11,000 creature that can Kakume change and actually looks like this. Okay, so if we're going to talk about the Doguraeater again, it's darkness and fire creature with the races of Demon Command Dragon and Master Initials, as well as Team Acme. Okay, the abilities are as follows. This creature is put into your mana zone tap. Kakume change or revolution change in English. you may switch this with one of your fire or darkness dragons that attack. Okay, so how Kakume changes work is, for example, I have this creature, right? It's black and blue. So the only requirement for you to put your Doguraeater in is for this creature to attack, and then you may declare Kakume change or I Revolution change, and then you may switch it with Doguraeater. Okay, so back to the card. Right. So before, after the Kakume change, it says here Double Breaker. So it has Double Breaker ability. And when you put this creature into the battle zone, you may discard a creature from your hand. If you do, you may put a darkness or fire D2 field from your graveyard into the battle zone. And let me just check this real quick. I know that Doguraeater also has a defensive mechanism of removing one of your opponent's creatures if one of your creatures were to be removed from the battle zone as well. Let me check. Doguraeater D2 M2. Okay. Give me a few seconds, guys. I just want this to be as accurate as possible. Okay, so Doguraeater's third, fourth ability in this case. When this creature or one of your other creatures leave the battle zone, if you have a D2 field in the battle zone, your opponent chooses and destroys one of their creatures. So this ability, as long as the Doguraeater is in your battle zone, every time your creature or your opponent's creatures or spells would enable one of your creatures to be destroyed or leave a battle zone. It specifically says leave the battle zone. Your opponent actually chooses one of their creatures and destroys them, which is good. It can be helpful in destroying creatures that cannot be selected, like Perfect Madonna, Onikamas. Probably for TCG users, Petrova. Yeah, Petrova is a good TCG staple in the Light Civilization. So it provides offense and defense. This is why I really like this card. Alright, so you are to pack 4. If you have, if possible, don't use proxies like me. It's just really hard for us to get this in the Philippines. Okay, so for the next options, I will show you your Kakume change candidates. Okay, actually you have a lot for this deck that I made. So the first candidate that you can have is these two. Okay, so this is Gin Up, question number 3, and then this is Beringa M, the 3rd seed. This is from Team Tech and this is from Team Acme, the same as Doguraeater. So basically what this does is that they both have the Kakume change ability. It's that with Gin Up, you can Kakume change this creature from from any creature that you have that is either water or darkness. And then the same goes for Beringa as long as it is darkness and fire. So let's say for very cheap attacking candidates, we could go for the water civilization. You could opt for something like well, for this deck, I will be showing you the candidate that you can use for Gin Up. But for fire, you can obviously have the Divider Grade Claw. That's already a given. And for both of them, for the darkness, you can actually go for Marrow Ooze. But the reason why I don't put Marrow Ooze in this deck anymore, I used to put Marrow Ooze in this deck, is because you can have a better turn 2 creature than Marrow Ooze. Okay, so for the abilities of these creatures, Gin Up has an advantage of plus 1,000 attack power compared to Beringa M, the 3rd seed, and both of them actually gives you the edge of acquiring Doguraeater for a Kakume change on the next turn, because Doguraeater requires you to have a Kakume change bait that is a fire or darkness dragon that is 5 more than that costs 5 or more. Okay, so both of these 3 can actually fulfill your Kakume change for Doguraeater. So for Beringa, you have the skill of, when you put this creature into the battle zone, you may put, I think you may, or you must, I don't know, I'm not entirely sure with the wording, but it enables you to put 3 cards from the top of your deck into the graveyard. So this is good if you are trying to mill your deck, for a very important D2 field that will sync with this Endo Kingdom for your combo. So Beringa is actually one of the better ones for this. Jin Up is also a good situational Kakume change, because it will, when it enters the battle zone, it will let you draw 2 of the 2 cards from the top of your deck, and then you will reveal them to your opponent. Your opponent will choose one of them to put into the grave, and the other will go to your hand. Okay, so it's actually somewhat of a situational card. Actually, it actually lets your opponent choose for you. But if you get both of the same card, basically you get a card, and then you can actually mill another. Okay, so that's basic, self-explanatory. Kakume change baits for your main creature, which is Doguraeater. Okay, so next, we actually have a few more revolution baits or Kakume change baits for Doguraeater. One of these is actually this card, Valchuris Dragon Armored. So basically, what Valchuris Dragon Armored does is that it is a speed attacker, and that in the other abilities, if one of your creatures attack and it is the second attack for this turn, you may put a Valchuris Dragon Armored into the battle zone for no cost. Okay, so say you have another creature that will attack, you can Kakume change into either a Beringa or a Jin Up, and then if you have another creature that doesn't necessarily have to have a Kakume change, or you just have an extra creature that can attack, you can actually put this in after declaring that other attack, and then since it's a speed attacker, you can attack right away, and then Kakume change this Valchuris into a Doguraeater, right? So it's actually one of the easier baits, and basically the 5 mana there is just no, it doesn't really cost you much, as long as you are attacking for the second time in that turn. Okay, so this creature is actually summoned best if you have another creature to attack with. For me, I personally just don't pay 5 mana just to summon this creature. Okay, so this you can pack 3 or 2 pieces, but I personally pack 3 just in case. So it's a situational card. Most of the time you probably don't even need to attack a second time, but it works. Sometimes it works, especially if you don't want to waste or you don't want to Kakume change into something else, or you don't have a Doguraeater, or you have a Doguraeater but you don't have either Jin Up or Beringa M. You can use Valchuris. Okay, for the next 2 options for your Kakume change, I personally prefer this card. Besides Beringa and Jin Up, I mean. This is called Dorganchuris. It is a beat jockey, and the Dragon Guild is the same as Valchuris. So it costs 5 mana and has 5,000 power and speed attacker ability. So how come I am saying that this is a good option? It's because of its first ability. I'm not sure what BAD means, but I know it's beat something. More or less, it enables you to reduce the cost of Dorganchuris by 2. So basically, it costs 3 mana now. But at the end of the turn, you will have to destroy this creature. So it's not actually a hindrance to you, since if you are holding a Doguraeater in your hand, and then you pay 3 mana, put in a Dorganchuris using the bad 2. I think I really have to check what that means, but you can reduce the cost of Dorganchurus by 2, so you are using 3 mana, and then speed attack, and then Kakume change into Doguraeater. Therefore, you can save your Dorganchurus for probably another Doguraeater or probably another Kakume change creature like Beringa or Jin up, just in case you don't have a say D2 field that is important to the deck, which I will be talking about shortly. So this is basically a cheat out for any of the good Revolution Final creatures like say Doguraeagon Buster, obviously Doguraeater. Question: the Secret Revolutionary Questioner. It's a 7 mana team tech creature. So this is a very versatile card. You can actually use this for quite a few decks. Hell, I'm not even sure if you can. I know, but all I know is that this is a very good card. You cannot play this deck without this and pack 4. Okay? So for the last Kakume change bait, we have a Hall of Fame card, which is Evil Heat. Okay, so Evil Heat is a Demon Command Dragon. It is 5 mana, both Darkness and Fire Civilization, with 4,000 power. It also has Speed Attacker, and an extra ability wherein when it enters the battle zone, when you put this creature into the battle zone, put the top card of your deck into your graveyard. Then, return a creature from your graveyard to your hand. So say you don't have any you don't have a Doguraeater in your hand, but you know that you have a Doguraeater in your graveyard. So in order for you to retrieve that and then Kakume change this into a Doguraeater, you can put this in the battle zone, put the top card of your deck into your graveyard, speed attack with this. So obviously when you put before you speed attack, when you put this creature into the battle zone, you may put the top card of your deck into the graveyard, and then you return a Doguraeater from your graveyard back to your hand, and then attack with Evil Heat, and then Kakume change into Doguraeater. Right? It's a good tactic. You don't lose your Evil Heat, you keep it in your hand, and you can put a Doguraeater from your graveyard into your battle zone. Basically, graveyard, hand, and then battle zone. So I think that's one of the reasons why the rules actually banned Evil Heat into a restricted format into only 1 piece per deck. It's a really good card. I run it in 2 of my decks. If you have one, definitely use this for your if you want to create one of your Doguraeater decks, or if you want to copy this deck profile, you will absolutely need this along with Dorganchurus. Okay, so I was talking earlier about this very important D2 area. So without further ado, for the only D2 area we will have in this deck is actually 4 copies of Dokindom area. So what is Dokindom area? Again, I am using a proxy. This is actually Dokindom Moon, and 3 pieces are Dokindom area. But if you have another area, please do as much as possible. Well, it's just for me, but I really don't like proxying cards if I have the capacity or the means to get it. But since I live in the Philippines, you already know the rest of the story. Okay, so Dokindom area is a 5 cost D2 field that enables you to seal any of your creatures if they are to leave the battle zone. So for example, one of your creatures gets demon handed, or in English terror pit, or bounced by say an Onikamas, an Aqua Surfer for TCG people. Anything that lets your creatures leave the battle zone, you may put a seal on top of them instead. Okay, so that's actually a pretty neat tactic. But the reason why you want Dokindom area is because of its Denjara Switch ability. So what is Denjara Switch? So when you put the D2 field in the battle zone and it has this little text box on the bottom, you can actually at the start, or depending on what the card says, you can check the DM wiki for that. For this case, for this card, you can then jar switch this card at the start of your turn. So that means before you draw your card, and then it enables you to remove at least 6 seals. So what does that mean? If you have a sealed Do Kingdom X, you can actually remove all 6, right? But the good thing is, in order for you to actually put this early on, is to use Doguraeater to put it into the battle zone the turn before. So how are you going to do that? Basically, all you have to do is mill yourself, so you can put a Do Kingdom area into your graveyard. Essentially, Kakume change a Doguraeater, discard a creature from your hand, and then put this into the battle zone. Then, since you put a Doguraeater, the Kingdom Seals can be removed by putting a fire command creature into your battle zone. Okay? So since a Doguraeater is actually a fire command, you can actually, before we have this Do Kingdom area, when you Kakume change into Doguraeater, you are required to remove 1 seal from Do Kingdom. So that leaves you with 5 seals. If the opposing player, obviously when you Kakume change with Doguraeater, you are to attack your opponent. So that means your opponent will have broken 2 shields because of Doguraeater. If Doguraeater was to be removed from the battle zone, say with an Arcadius Spark, a Demon Hand, a Spiral Gate, I don't know, even a creature ability effect that will let it go away from the battle zone, since you already have a Kingdom Moon, you can actually just put the seal here, Doguraeater, and then at the start of your next turn, before you draw anything, before you even untap this card, you can then jar switch and then remove the seal again. That's 1 seal, and by then you already have 5 seals left on your Do Kingdom, enabling you to flip it. Right? Easy. Okay, so imagine that you have that combo by turn 2. Turn 3. Yeah, turn 3 is the most realistic one. So say we have a Do Kingdom, a sealed Do Kingdom there, and then you have a Doguraeater, a Doguraeater, a Dorganchuris, and then a Do Kingdom Moon, Do Kingdom area. Sorry about that. A Do Kingdom area in your graveyard. What you can do is pay 3 mana, put your Dorganchuris in there. I remember what BAD means. It's a bad action dynamite. Okay, so using the bad action dynamite skill of Dorganchuris, you can reduce it. You can summon it to reduce its cost by 2, so enabling you to tap 3 of your mana in turn 3. Attack with it. Kakume change into a Doguraeater, and then discard a random card from your hand, or maybe the Dorganchuris, but as much as possible, don't discard this. And then discard a creature. You may put a Do Kingdom area, and since you put a Doguraeater, you may remove 1 seal. At the start of your next turn, before you untap anything, or before you draw a card, you may flip your Do Kingdom area, and then remove the remaining 5 seals. Or if your Doguraeater or one of your other creatures gets sealed, you can remove the seal. Okay? Therefore, enabling you to seal all of your opponent's creatures via Do Kingdom X's ability. And again, I haven't told you about Do Kingdom X's ability, but basically what Do Kingdom X's can do is that when this creature forbidden liberates, which means removing all of the seals on it, you can actually put a seal on all the creatures that your opponent has on their side of the field. And then it is also triple breaker, and any spell that will enable the Do Kingdom X to leave the battle zone that costs 4 or less, say a Spiral Gate, will not have any effect on him. So obviously a Demon Hand from the Shield Trigger, or an Arcadius Spark from the Shield Trigger, or even a Mystery Captain Fleet will remove Do Kingdom. But have no fear. Since you have a Do Kingdom area, by the time you unseal this, if the chance that your Do Kingdom X attacks and then it is to be removed from the grave, I mean from the battle zone, you can put a seal on it. Okay? It will not let you lose the game, since if Do Kingdom X is anywhere other than the battle zone, you lose the game. That's its downside. But since you have Do Kingdom area, it cannot leave the battle zone. So by then, you will not lose the game. Okay? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that the rules go by that, and this is legal. Okay? So, that's enough for Do Kingdom X and Do Kingdom area. Very self-explanatory. This is the core of the deck, along with Do Kingdom X, along with Doguraeater, Do Kingdom area, and most probably a Dorgan choice. Okay? So what about the others? What about Jude? What about defense? Okay. So if we're going to talk about defense, for your Hall of Fame defense, we have Falconer, like Fine Ninja in English, or in Japanese, Hayabusa Maru. So Hayabusa Maru, as all or most OCG players know, is that it is a Shinobi Ninja Strike 4. So if you have 4 or more mana in your battle zone, in your mana zone, and then you are to be attacked, or if you haven't used the Ninja Strike ability like this one on your current turn, you can put this creature into the battle zone for no cost, as long as you have 4 or more mana. So what this creature does is, one of your opponents gets blocker. I mean, one of your creatures in the battle zone gets blocker. So it can either have blocker, or one of your other creatures can have blocker. So the great thing here is that Falconer, or Hayabusa Maru, I prefer to call him Hayabusa Maru, you can just get him from your card, from your hand. Let's say your opponent is actually going to swing for game, it's GG for you, and then you have a Hayabusa Maru to block that final attack and then buy you a turn, right? So more or less, this is a good card. You can actually opt to go with Memento Court, Prison of D. It's a D2 field that's also restricted to 1, that gives all of your creatures blocker regardless. And if you want to Denjar switch it, you can tap all of your opponent's creatures. So I prefer this because it removes any other conflicts with you not being able or to share space with your Do Kingdom area, especially if Do Kingdom area is a D2 field as well. And in D2 field, rules state that there can only be one D2 field per game that can exist at the same time. So say I have a Do Kingdom area, and then your opponent puts another Do Kingdom area, you will have to remove yours. Okay, so please, everyone, please take note of that. I think most of you already know what a D2 field is anyway, but for those who do not, there's some information for you. Okay, so for your next and final bit, well, not really, this is your other line of defense. We are packing 3 copies of Ragnarok the Clock. So it is a 3 mana water creature, outrage max race, and it is also a shield trigger. So this is actually your safe proof, wherein if you put this creature into the battle zone, skip the rest of the turn. So the best way for you to use this creature is to not put it on your side, because you'll be shooting yourself on the foot. It's when it is in the shields, and then your opponent will break it. Hopefully it's there in the shields, and then if he breaks it, you can cast shield trigger, put Ragnarok the Clock in, and he skips the rest of his turn, hopefully helping you survive for another turn. Okay, so let me breeze past the others. We have 4 copies of Atsto, Duma Hero Strategist, or Dual Hero Strategist. It's a darkness water creature that can give you the similar ability but optional ability as No Run Up. So what it does is, when you put this creature into the battle zone, draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. This will be your main helper in selectively discarding cards from your hand into the graveyard. Specifically, you can put the Kingdom area from your hand into the grave. Okay? Then, for your last line of defense, technically, we have Onikamas. So, every OCG player knows Onikamas. It is unchoosable, and what it does is whenever your opponent would put a creature into the battle zone without tapping mana, they return it to their hand instead. So this is a this creature is also unchoosable, like I said, and its effect occurs only during your opponent's turn. So please take note of that. All right. And then for your last, this is also a spell, a shield trigger spell. Scale of Bravery and Love. It's a shield trigger that lets you choose one of the following. You can either choose one of your opponent's creatures that cost 2,000 or less and destroy them, or you can discard one card and then draw two cards. Again, same purpose as Atsuto, but this time it's a spell and it's a shield trigger, and then you can discard only one card but draw two cards. Alright? So I guess that is the end of the video. So for the basic combo, turn 1, put mana. Turn 2, you can cast either these two. If you are aware that your opponent is using for no cost strategies, you can actually put, or you can even put Onikamas for turn 2. And then for turn 3, you are more or less supposed to use a Dorganchuris, or if you do not, you can Kakume change into either Jin Up or Beringa M, and then on the next turn, you can put a Doguraeater by Kakume changing either of the candidates. Hopefully, by then you will have a Dokindom area in your graveyard. Put it there. Next turn, you can switch, and then Unsealed Dormageddon. Whack your opponent's shields away and try to win for game. So basically, that's it for this video. I hope everyone found this video exciting, or even at least a little bit of informative on your side. I did my best to build this deck basically from scratch and from other resources that we can get from here in the Philippines. Not exactly the best, but it's what we have, it's what we've been dealt. I don't have much of a choice. I actually ship cards from Japan sometimes, but again, it's not a really big viable choice. And well, yeah, I guess that's it for this video, everyone. So I hope you found this video informative. I'm sorry if the camera quality is a bit on the low side. I'm still trying to be familiar with recording stuff. So I hope everyone liked the video. Again, please try to subscribe, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell also. I mean, we don't have that much content yet, but we're doing our best to plan. Expect more deck profiles and more live or even Zoom recorded duels in the future. And I will see you guys next time. Cheers.